This is super weird, and I have a whole stack of books to go over with you guys. Hi everyone, it's Haley and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And I haven't really posted one of these sit-down videos in a while, so I really wanted to do something special and something that has been really important to me, what I want to do with the remaining of my summer when I'm not at school. So I really want to share all of the summer reads, all the books that I really want to go through, and maybe books that I tried to go through and then I didn't end up finishing it, but that's okay. I'm gonna try again this summer maybe, but if not, I'm still on my list. I have a stack of books and I'm very excited about this. Before I get into it, I just want to say that reading is something that I love to do, especially when I pick up a good book. If it's not intriguing or I'm not really into it, then sometimes I do give up on the book I do. But I'm trying not to this year, but I'm also trying to pick books that I will actually enjoy reading. So you will see a ton of that. Kind of just to start off with this was going to be my summer read. It was, but I decided to start reading it and I picked it up and I couldn't put it down. And it's this book. So I read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This book was so like hyped on TikTok and on Instagram. Just I've been seeing it everywhere. And it has a right to be hyped. It was amazing. I loved it. As you can see, I annotated my favorite parts, sad parts, quotes that I really liked. It was amazing. And I even wrote, this is a journal where I write everything about my books, which I really wanted to do this summer as well. And I wrote like my favorite quotes and then I wrote what the book was about. So don't read that because that is spoilers, but I will tell you what it is about. I'm probably going to be reading the back of most of these books, if you're wondering. So this book is about this girl named Lily, and she's had a tough time in the past with her mother and father. And one night while she is in Boston, she meets a guy named Riley. I believe that's how you say it, and I'm going to say it like that. And they did click. There was something there was chemistry, and they decide to build on that after a lot of, I don't know, very stubborn. I would say that this pair is very stubborn, I will say that, but while they were building this, she runs into someone from her past, which his name is Atlas, and they had a history in the past. And she starts reading these like journal entries that she had when she was younger in her teenage years when she met Atlas, and how she had love for him. And now that he came back into her life, there's just a lot of questions that surround that. And that's just the main premise of the book. I think it was a beautiful novel. They had some pretty cute parts, but also pretty serious situations that do happen in real life, but also very sad moments as well. So I really recommend reading this. I believe I gave this 4 out of 5 stars, and there's a reason why I gave this 4 out of 5 stars instead of 5 out of 5. But before I get into that reason, I want to get into the books that it's been on my bookshelf, but I haven't finished them. So the first one, sorry about my creaking chair, but the first one, as you can see the bookmark, is The Hamilton Affair. If you guys haven't seen Hamilton the musical, this is basically a book about Hamilton and his life, and I was very intrigued by it. I was very excited when I got it. My sister got it for me for Christmas one year. I was very, very excited. But what page should I stop at? I stopped at page 108. It was kind of just based on history, and I think that's what turned me away from this book. I do want to restart it, and I do want to read this again. I'll read the back for you so you know what's happening. Okay. Set against the dramatic backdrop of the American Revolution and featuring a cast of iconic characters such as George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and, oh no, I can't say this, Marquise de... I'm not. The Hamilton Affair tells the sweeping, true love story of Alexander Hamilton and Elizabeth Schuyler, from tremulous beginning to bittersweet ending. His at a dueling ground on the shores of the Hudson River, hers more than half a century later after a brave, successful life. So basically, I would recommend watching the musical, and it was beautiful. It was beautifully done. I was so intrigued, and that's why I was really excited about this. I think the thing about this book that I didn't continue on and I moved on to the next one is that it is a slow burn. It is. I will say this book is 424 pages long, and it is a slow burn. It hasn't even really got into the romance yet. So I think that's what turned me off from this, but I'm gonna read this again, I promise you. So another one that was sitting on my bookshelf is called The River of Dreams by Jan Nash, I believe. And I'll read what this is about. This is actually very intriguing. I just think I have so many other books that I wanted to read, so I didn't get to this, but I'll read the inside. I don't know if I'm pronouncing the name right, but it's okay. Finn Driscoll is counting the days until she can leave for college. With her beloved brother Noah in a coma and her high school social life sinking every day, she's ready for a fresh start. Until the night she sees Noah in a dream, he begs for her help. At first, she shakes it off as just a nightmare. Then it happens again and again. Frightened, Finn confides in their grandmother, only to learn the shocking truth about her family. They're dream walkers. Heroes who step into the river of dreams and fight the monsters and other people's nightmares, freeing them to face the problems in their real lives. Awake or asleep, Finn has never thought of herself as any kind of hero, and walking through other people's dreams seems much worse than hiding at school. But as hard to face this challenge might be, Finn has no choice. Will she do anything she can to save her brother? So, it does sound really interesting. I do, and this is actually around the middle of my list of books that I do want to read. I do want to read this. It is a short read as well, which is really nice, so I'm very excited, and this is on my list. I scratch off 2 more books that are going to be my summer reads, even though I started it. They're not exactly novels, they're poetry and essays. So the first one is Homebody. I believe you've heard of the different poems like Milk and Honey or The Designer Flowers. They're amazing. I own both of those, but I do have this one. I've sticky noted it. Technically, I'm still on the poems, so I am going to be reading this throughout the summer. And the second one that I do have is 101 Essays That Will Change the Way You Think by Brianna West, and I really like this. It's really nice. I'm on page 114. I'm in the middle of reading an essay, but this is the kind of book you have when you want to read it in the morning or you want to hear something inspirational. You can sticky note it, go back to it. It's not a novel where there's like a chronological order. It's just 101 essays that will change the way you think. Exactly. So I really recommend this. It's really good so far, and yeah, thanks a lot to my sister for getting me that book. I feel like I'm all over the place with this video, but that's okay. That's just how I am. So the next book that's on my list is Normal People by Sally Rooney. So this is very interesting because I started watching Normal People, which is a TV show if you didn't know, and I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes, I believe. It was really good, but I was watching it on a streaming platform, so I didn't go back to it because I was watching it at school. And I was also debating on getting the Normal People script in a book. It's on Amazon. I could link it down below if you're interested. But this is Normal People. I'm actually very excited. I've heard really good things. And I'll read it's usually on the back, but I'll read it. Okay. Connell and Marianne pretend to not know each other. He's popular and well-adjusted, a star of the school football team, while she is lonely, proud, too intensely private. But when Connell comes to pick her mother up from her job at Marianne's house, a strange and indelible connection grows between the 2 teenagers, one they are determined to conceal. A year later, they're both studying at Trinity College in Dublin. Marianne has found her feet in the new social world, while Connell hangs out on the sidelines, shy and uncertain. Throughout their years at university, Marianne and Connell circle each other, straying towards other people and possibilities, but always magnetically, irresistibly drawn back together. As she veers into self-destruction and he begins the search for meaning elsewhere, each must confront how far they are willing to go to save each other. So it seems very interesting. When I started watching it, they were recently connecting with each other. So very interesting. I recommend watching the TV series, but I definitely want to read the book before I continue watching. The next book on my summer reads is How to Stop Time by Matt Haig, I believe. He wrote Midnight Library. I fell in love with Midnight Library. I just loaned it to my sister to read, but I'm really excited about this. And this book, I was reading what it's about, and it's very similar to a film that I watched, or like, I guess the storyline is very similar. If you've ever watched the movie Age of Adeline, yeah. So if you have, then maybe you will like How to Stop Time, because it's about this man instead named Tom Hazard, who has a dangerous secret because he's been alive for centuries. And basically one of his only rules was like to don't fall in love or anything, but he catches an eye of like a captivating woman and things start to change. So I think this will be a very interesting read. I'm really excited about it. I'm also excited because it has the Eiffel Tower right there. So, but yeah, I'm gonna start reading this. This is my next read after it ends with us, because I finished it and I'm very excited. Second last book that I have here, but it's definitely not the last books that I want to read. So it's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I've heard really good things about this. It's been on TikTok, been on Instagram, been everywhere, and I really want to read this. So basically this is about an investigation. As you know, I'm gonna read the back so you know what it's about, and also so I know what it's about again. So pretty and popular high school senior Andy Bell was murdered by her boyfriend, Sal Singh, who then killed himself. It was all anyone could talk about, and 5 years later, Pip sees how the tragedy still haunts her down. Now a senior herself, Pip decides to re-examine the closed case for her final project. At first just to cast doubt on the original investigation, but soon she discovers a trail of dark secrets that might actually prove Sal innocent. And the line between past and present begin to blur. Someone in Fairview doesn't want Pip digging around for answers, and now her life might be in danger. So it's very interesting. I'm very into like investigative, like mystery books. So I was very excited when I picked this up. And as well, I ordered it, but this is also a trilogy. So there are 2 other books and I really want to get them, but I really want to read this first before I decide to get any other book. And the last book that I have here with me, and this is very exciting. This is why I rated It Ends With Us for the 5 stars, because this series has changed my life. It was the series that I really want to read all the way through. It's amazing. I give it 5 of the 5 stars overall. Some books were better than the others, but I loved the storylines and I loved where it was going. It didn't die. It was never old. And it was never boring. And it is the Shatter Me series. So first it was a trilogy, and then Tahira Mafi, who is the author, she wrote 3 more books. So basically I just combined them, make it a series, and she has 5 novellas out. I've read the whole series, and all I have is the novellas left. So when I thought I had to say goodbye to those characters, I didn't. So I haven't read any of the novellas at all. And this is actually the 3rd and the 4th novella combined into one, because it says Shadow Me and Reveal Me, but it's called Find Me for the combining of the 2 novellas. So I actually can't read this yet. I'm still trying to find the 1st and 2nd, because this was already hard to find at like local chapters. But I will read the back of it if you guys are wondering. Actually, should I? I don't even know if you guys know what the series is about. But the series is about a girl named Juliet, and she has a fatal touch. If she touches someone, they could die, or they do die, for instance. So she's been locked up, but she meets a boy named Adam, who she actually went to school with, and they try to escape where she is locked up. But someone named Warner is trying to stop them, and he wants her badly. So that's basically what it's about. There's a lot of supernatural, dystopian, and fantasy in this novel, in the full series, which I really enjoy. And there's so many other different characters that you meet. But I will say that Warner, you have my heart. You have my heart. He's my favorite. But he is the bad guy. So read the first book, though, to find out what happens next to Warner. But this one, I believe, because it says Kenji will do anything to protect the people he loves, it really revolves around Kenji in one of these books, or in like the full thing, which I think it's from his point of view, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, if you look at this, they have the novellas here. There's 4, but there is a 5th one out because she just released one last year. So yeah. Now, some other books that I do want to read and I do want to purchase, other than the A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, that I do want to purchase the 2 other books. I've been really invested in Heartstopper. I read the full comic online, but I do want to own like the physical copies and reread them, because they are graphic comics and I loved them so much. And they have a TV show on Netflix. I recommend watching it, or I recommend reading it. I don't even know if it matters which one you read first. Obviously people say like, oh, read the books before you watch it, but I think it's just so beautiful, and they do stick to a lot of things that happen in the comics, so I really want the books. And of course, I really want to purchase the Shatter Me novellas, as you know, and I probably mentioned, I just forget, but I really enjoyed them, and I really want to read more about the characters because I really fell in love with them. They're my most amazing and incredible series I have ever read, and I can't wait to read about them again. I do have a Kobo as well, so I do have a couple of books that I want to like download on there instead of keep buying a whole bunch of books, but I can't help it. I love books. But I do want to read The Hating Game. I heard it was really good, and there's a film, obviously, so I really want to read that and see if I'll like it. I'm not sure if I will, but we'll see. If I think of any other books that I do want to read, I'll just put like a list after this video. But thank you for watching. I really hope you enjoyed all the books that I want to read this summer, and hopefully I get through it. I'm probably going to do an updated video on how many books I actually got through. But I am finished 1 out of all the books that I read. Oop! Because of this one, and I am going to be annotating like all of my books, trust me. I'm writing about all of them in my book journal. So I hope you enjoyed. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more of these videos or more of my singing. And I'll see you guys later. Bye!